out-of-body experience. My dog in the astral plane. August 11th, 2012. I woke at 6 a.m., then about 8 a.m., went to lie down just to relax. I wasn't sleepy, but I had a little pain and numbness in my hand, and lying down helps that. I'd only been on the bed for a few minutes when I heard an inner buzzing sound. I have had out-of-body experiences before, so I knew what this sound signified. I was about to leave my body. I can rarely get completely out of body, but usually my legs and arms rise up pretty easily. And usually I can see or hear and speak. My consciousness appeared to be normal, but still, I did a quick reality check to make sure I was fully conscious and aware. I asked myself the following questions. What is my name? What day is it? What date is it? Approximately what time is it? Where am I right now? And why? All answers were correct and lucid. My astral legs floated upwards easily, and my arms too. There was no more pain in my hand while out of body. I was glad about that. Then I thought I'd try to see if my dog, she died June 5th, 2012, might be around. Before I'd laid down, I hadn't sensed her, so I thought she might not be with me. I was also not sure what might have happened to her after her death, though I had felt spontaneous contacts from her on 4 occasions, waves of affection, and a sense of the presence of her character. However, I thought that it could have been that her soul had moved on in some way. I prepared myself for any disappointment and thought I'd try nevertheless. I could hear and use my voice at this stage, but couldn't see. My sense of touch in my astral hands was just like my physical sense of touch, minus the hand pain. I called my dog's name in a bright and happy way, just like I used to when she was in another room or something, or if we were going out. I heard a stumbly kind of noise in the room, and then a little bump, and then, suddenly, my astral hands touched her head. She had jumped up at the edge of my bed, and my astral hands going out of body felt her clearly. I could feel the exact texture of her fur and her ears. She was incredibly warm, exactly like her physical body, perhaps even slightly warmer than usual. I was so happy to ruffle her ears and talk to her, and she too seemed full of happiness. I could feel her moving to push against me with her head. Her ears bent back a bit with my rubbing them, and I wanted her to straighten her ears out. So I said, "Shake your head when I'm gone to straighten your ears." Then I was back in my body. The experience lasted about 2 to 3 minutes. Before this experience, I was pretty sure there was life after death, even for dogs. Now, I know there is. I am speaking out about this to try to help people who are suffering intense grieving after the death of loved ones. There is no death, only transition to other dimensions. And another dimension exists only a heartbeat away. Scary true stories. From my life. Interacts with a black cat ghost. We keep having fun experiences with our ghost cat. Even our cat Sissy is happy now that she has a playmate, even if it isn't alive. Travis and I were coming home from shopping, and we were unlocking the door and thought our cat Sissy ran right by us and got outside. We had both seen a black cat run right by our feet and down the hall. So we brought the groceries inside, and I had put them down on the counter to go get the cat. Travis walked into the bedroom, and Sissy was sound asleep on our bed. Last night, I was here, sitting on my computer, and I felt a cat rub up against my leg. Then it tugged on my blanket I used to cover my chair, just like how a cat takes their claws and scratches. I felt the blanket being pulled. I turned to say, "Stop it, Sissy," but there was no cat near me that I could see. I got up and looked in the bedroom, and Sissy was again asleep at the foot of the bed with my husband, Travis. This ghost cat is very friendly, loves to rub up against you, and I can even feel it jump up on the couch when I'm watching television. Sissy has a spot at one end of the couch next to the sliding glass door. A couple of times she was laying there and looked right over at the cushion next to me and stared. No sooner than she does that, I will feel something jump down from the cushion next to me. I like it though. Sissy has a playmate to keep her company, and I get to have 2 cats, since in our apartment building, we're only allowed to have 1 animal pet. I have 2, only you can't see the other one. Odd experiences. Bathory's cat ghost story. I work in a nursing home and have had a few odd experiences there. Nothing, however, beats the 3/4 cat, as I call him. I had a very nice little Greek granny that I took care of on a regular basis. Her and her roommate were both dyed-in-the-wool cat lovers, and they each had a stuffed cat that they could not go to sleep without. If either stuffed kitty was missing, a frantic search went on until they were found, or there would be no bedtime for either of the ladies, as one would stay awake to comfort the other as she lay crying, missing her stuffed kitty. Those ladies thought they were real cats, so I made sure to keep a hawk eye on the whereabouts of those 2 critters. Could you pawn off a substitute to either of them? No way, Jose. Each lady knew her own stuffed kitty like the back of her own hand. My sweet Greek granny would often tell me tales of Greece, and I would raptly listen to her as she described in detail how her life was when she was young, and also to everything in between. She would often clasp my face between her hands and call me her sweet granddaughter in Greek, even though she knew I wasn't her blood relative. She and I bonded, and I couldn't wait to see her merry face at the beginning of my shift. There came a day when she began to fail, and I realized that within a week or 2, I'd probably lose her. It might be hard for families to understand, but caretakers can get just as attached to their family members as they are, and when that attachment comes, it often tears our hearts out when we lose one of our special patients. I spent as much time with her as I reasonably could without shortchanging my other patients. One evening, I found myself with a half-hour lunch break and didn't want to spend it anywhere but with her. She was unaware of my presence, as she was very near the end of her time on this earth. I sat down in her wheelchair at the end of her bed and just watched her breathe, marveling at every crease and line on her face. Her hands, twisted with rheumatoid arthritis, reminded me of gnarled old crees with many tales to tell. I sat there simply watching her, glorying privately in the tales of her life. Out of the corner of my eye, to my right side, I noticed movement. In my peripheral vision, I saw 3/4 of an orange and white cat coming toward me in mid-stride. It was missing most of its left hind leg and the top third of its tail. What you must understand was that this was not a living cat missing part of its body. This was a ghost cat that wasn't all the way in this plane. As I turned to fully look at the cat, it of course disappeared. It seems that while my mind was functioning in a different way, musing about my Greek granny, it allowed me to get a glimpse of part of another world. I certainly did not expect this to happen, as I had never before seen the ghost of an animal. I quietly left her room and told my coworkers what I had just seen. They gave me that woo-woo look they always do when I tell them something I've experienced. But they also know that I'm not lying. My Greek granny died 2 days after I saw the cat. Perhaps it was a beloved pet coming to escort her home. I feel as though she and her wonderful kitty gave me a gift beyond measure. I thank you, Ya, and I miss you so very much. Not all visitors from the other side come to scare. Like this video if you believe. Subscribe for more true stories. And tell us your experience in the comments.